Your landing page sucks, it doesn't convert, and prospects leave, never to be seen again. But this isn't for the reason you think. It's not because of the color of your buttons, a poorly placed form, or even the absence of the word AI plastered all across the homepage. Please stop doing that, Brian. The problem runs deeper than UX tweaks or fancy design features. Funnily enough, prospects looking for a new supplier aren't looking for flashy animations, and they're definitely not looking to be told how great you are. In fact, this is where the problem starts. The real issue lies in what you say, and this is slowly becoming an epidemic amongst B2B businesses and websites alike. A prospect is looking to quickly understand whether your solution aligns specifically with their problem. Now, it doesn't matter how powerful your marketing engine is or whether you have the very best solution in town. If it's not corresponding with the profile of your visitor, if it doesn't address their specific pain point and subsequently present your solution as the problem solver, then it's definitely not converting. In today's video, I'm going to break down a handful of B2B websites and show you exactly where their headlines missed the mark. More importantly, I'll suggest improvements that actually speak to the prospect's pain points, positioning their brand as the perfect solution. So if you're tired of low conversion rates and guessing why it's happening, stick around. As a bonus, I'll also share a GPT at the end that I've put together to help you nail your website headline. Now, 2 quick things before we jump into the details. Number 1, Session Media are an award-winning B2B performance marketing agency. If you're a B2B business and want qualified leads for your sales team, then reach out via the form on the website. Number 2, if you're all about B2B marketing tactics and lead generation that actually works, subscribe to the channel below. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, what I'm going to do is jump straight into our first website, and what I'm going to do is scroll down the homepage to try and figure out, based on only what they tell me on this website, actually what they do and who they do it for.
2 hours later.
Okay, we're in the footer. So even the footer, Pega provides a powerful platform that empowers the world's leading organizations to unlock business, transforming outcomes with real-time optimization. Clients use our enterprise AI decisioning and workflow automation to solve their most pressing business challenges, from personalizing engagement to automating service to streamlining operations. Okay, so I've actually got more insight down here in the footer than I have in any other part of the homepage, right? So we knew that they target the enterprise. That bit was made quite clear in the headline, I think. But they're a decisioning platform, and they automate workflows. Okay, so I have an idea now of what they do. So they do decisioning, they do workflows, they target the enterprise. Now knowing that, if I scroll up to the top, 10x faster transaction time, this does not resonate specifically with what they do. It maybe gives a bit of insight into a benefit and potentially who they target, but I still don't know. I need more specificity around what they do. So if I come onto the platform page, I've had a bit more confirmation that they're a decisioning platform and they do workflow automation. Okay, so what I've done here is I've suggested 3 headlines, a moderate, a good, and a better. Okay, so the moderate one: accelerate business workflows with 10 times faster transactions. So reduce errors, boost accuracy in real-time processing for seamless large-scale operations. So we've addressed partly what they do here and a benefit of doing that. We've then gone into more of the specifics around what that involves. And then we've also mentioned that we do it for large scale operations. And we could probably just get, potentially just get rid of that Google there. So we've hit a number of key points here, but I would say we could probably do a little bit better than that. So let's look at option 2. So here we've got drive operational efficiency with 10 times faster error-free transactions. We help enterprises automate workflows, reduce processing errors, and scale seamlessly for large, complex operations. So what we've done here is we've essentially given the outcome of the benefit that is gained by our solution. So we're gaining efficiency with faster, error-free transactions. We've then gone into the specifics more in the subtext, as well as addressing the ITP. So we help enterprises automate workflows. That's exactly what they do. They reduce processing errors and scale seamlessly for large, complex operations. So what we've missed out at the start here is we haven't really given much specificity. We've essentially given the outcome of the solution that we provide, and then we've addressed who we do it for in the subtext down at the bottom here. So again, this is more of the moderate because we've got more of the benefits within this, but again, we haven't said specifically what we do in the headline text, which is why it's sits somewhere between the better version and the moderate version. So let's have a look at an even better version of this. Automate decision-making and streamline complex workflows with 10 times faster real-time transaction processing. Our enterprise decisioning solution enhances operations, reduces errors, and ensures compliance, eliminating manual tasks at scale. So what have we got here? We've essentially addressed the outcome of using our solution, which is automating decision-making and streamlining complex workflows. So that also ties in more of the specifics around what we do. We've then given benefits to that at the end here. We've then addressed more of the ICP at the bottom here, and then spoken specifically around one more of their pain points, so eliminating manual tasks at scale. Now, this might still need a little bit of refining, but if you see how we've encompassed pain solution, we've addressed the ICP, and we've also given the specifics around what we do. When we compare it back to the first headline of 10 times faster transaction time, we've immediately given so much more information to the user without them having to scroll and potentially risk bouncing, because many may not go to the footer, they may not click through to other parts of the site. So how does this sort of framework work? How does it come together? So there's three sort of key areas that you want to consider. So the ICP, the ideal customer profile. So who is the decision maker? Who's shopping for this? That's the first part. The second part is the pain point of that user. So what is the reason that they would potentially engage you as a solution? What are the pain points? You know, you could go from a high level strategic down all the way down to like the day-to-day potentially, based on what your solution offers. And then we present our value proposition, so our key differentiator as that solution to the pain point of that specific person from the ICP. And the headline should sit somewhere in the middle here. So what I'm going to do is run through a couple more examples of how this can work. Okay, so number 2, Xylo.com. We have the H1 Xylo named a leader. Great. Xylo positioned highest on ability to execute and furthest for completeness of vision in the first ever 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrant for SaaS management platforms. Now, this doesn't end up being completely terrible. We've got a lot of validation at the top here, and then we've got a bit of insight at the end, so a SaaS management platform. But again, we probably want more of the specifics as to what it does. But what it does well here, it actually gives some validation as to why they are the great solution, and then it gives intel into what they do as well. You might be picking, sort of want to flip this around to say we're a SaaS management platform that has been positioned highest. So we get earlier on in the sort of messaging process more of the explanation as the category that we operate in. But you would think if the user starts reading this bit, they'll probably see this bit here, though there is a risk that they might even glance over this and just sort of think, okay, you're in a magic quadrant, but what do we do, right? So let's scroll a little bit further down the page. Cut costs, mitigate risk, take action. You have questions about your software, we give you answers. Okay, so if you've read the first bit, this bit might start piecing together the solution that they provide. We know that they're a SaaS management platform. This gives a bit of intel that sort of suggests we can give you everything you want to know about all your softwares, right? Which is great. So they've answered this a little bit underneath. So how many apps does your business have? Are they a security risk? Are they wasting licenses and money? The complexity and growth of SaaS creates tough questions. With insights from over $34 billion in software spend, Xylo gives you answers and workflows to manage software with confidence. So from my perspective, I would shout a bit more about this bit here, because this not only explains what they do, but they also give a bit more validation as to why they should be trusted, because they manage or have overseen $34 billion worth of SaaS spend. But I'd say this is sort of buried in the text. One AI-powered platform, 3 complete solutions. So we've got Discover All, discover all your SaaS with AI, control and optimize licenses, manage spend and renewals. And so I think this page does a better job overall than the previous page is explaining what they do. They give a bit of insight, but again, they don't really speak specifically to the target user, and specifically who the person is that might be considering buying this as an application, right? So let's have a look at potentially some alternatives to that. So again, this is more the moderate version. So gain full control of your SaaS spending and usage, empower IT and procurement teams to eliminate wasted spend, ensure compliance, and improve SaaS ROI with detailed insight across the entire enterprise. So what have we done here? We've said specifically what they do. We've spoken specifically to the user that will or possibly be considering buying this or at least using it. We've then given some benefits of using the software and the outcomes of that. So the improving ROI, which again, you could argue is a little bit vague in this, in this situation here. But it does break down as to how the ROI is generated. So insights across the entire enterprise. Now, we haven't included the Magic Quadrant. So again, you might argue that you want to try and factor that social proof in. So it's a big bit of social proof, but we have left it here. Though I would argue that maybe a bit of intel into, or a bit of an. So we've addressed partly what they do here and a benefit of doing that. We've then gone into more of the specifics around what that involved. Pennies, I don't know, might do a better job at communicating the key message, but I don't think this is the worst thing in the world you'd want to shout about this thing, right? So that's sort of more on the moderate side. Okay, so let's have a look at a slightly different version of what this could look like, and you can make your own decision as to whether this is better or worse. Drowning in SaaS sprawl. Empower IT and procurement teams to eliminate wasted spend, ensure compliance, and improve SaaS ROI with detailed insights across the entire enterprise. Now, drowning in SaaS sprawl, again, we've only got 4 words here, but what do we try and do? Well, we're addressing a key pain point in a phrase that someone in the IT or procurement team would likely understand, and it's also a bit of a pain point as well. So SaaS sprawl is essentially excessive use of softwares within an organization. So a person that would be shopping for something like this, you would hazard a guess that they would know what SaaS sprawl is, they would know it's a key pain point, and we've essentially said the thing that they're looking to address directly in this headline. So I know if they understand what SaaS sprawl is, then they are likely in the ideal customer profile that we're looking to target. We also potentially pique their curiosity as well by using this type of terminology. And the one thing I would say is never be afraid to be technical, and also try and be a bit clever with the phrasing as well, because the persons that understand it are more likely to engage with what you're saying kind of beyond that as well. So you can make your judgment as to whether you think this is a better version to the original one. Now, the third and final site that we're going to have a look at is Signifyd. So let's have a look to see if we can understand what these guys do purely from their website content, or the homepage content, I should say. Okay, so Signifyd powers fearless commerce. Unlock more revenue and protect your business with decisions and enterprise-grade performance you can trust. We've then got some logos down here, all well-recognized brands. Signifyd protects shopper journeys globally. Okay, so between this, we know that they work probably with e-commerce shop. Looking at these brands, we could probably guess that they're looking at sort of enterprise level customers essentially as well, but I still don't really understand what they're doing. So they protect businesses, they protect performance or enterprise grade performance, they protect shopper journeys, so maybe there's some kind of fraud prevention. Optimize the checkout experience in Europe. Signifyd helps you maximize conversions while minimizing risk beyond checkout. Okay, so maybe they are they help in the CRO type of thing. Innovate fearlessly to grow globally, deliver the customer experiences that win loyalty across the world risk-free. I don't think this really adds much into what they do. Fraudsters. Okay, so maybe this is in fraud. Fraudsters have adapted to realities of post PSD to Europe. Your business should too. Okay, with regulations curbing checkout fraud in Europe, bad actors are pressure testing new points of vulnerability across the digital shopper journey. Okay, I'm starting to think this is more fraud, optimize checkout experiences, increase conversion, streamline returns, increase customer lifetime value, reduce friction. Okay, so guaranteed fraud protection. So these guys do fraud protection, but again, from the headline, it's not immediately obvious, right? So let's have a look at some suggestions as to what this headline could be. Protect your e-commerce business with guaranteed fraud prevention. Join some of the world's biggest e-commerce brands and safeguard your operations with our enterprise-grade fraud prevention. Okay, so this could probably do with a bit of tidying up, but what have we done here? We've spoken specifically to the at least the category we're targeting. The e-commerce, your e-commerce business suggests that we're speaking specifically to the business owner, which might not be specifically correct here. But we've also just said what we do, guaranteed fraud prevention. Join some of the world's biggest e-commerce brands. So we're referencing some of the logos below. Safeguard your operations. So again, if you're reading the top, you can understand that operations in the context of this is the buyer journey. And then we said, again, enterprise-grade fraud prevention. We could probably use our words a little bit better here in this space at the end, but at least we've said exactly what we do. So we know a user visiting our page gets a sense for who we are. We've got the justification and they know the category that we're trying to go after as well. Again, if we now compare this back to the original, Signified powers fearless commerce. And even with this, we don't really want to know about you. And even, the first word in the opening headline on the homepage is your brand. It just talks about me, instead of sort of saying, here's the pain point that you've got, here's the solution to address it and connecting the two. So it's all subtleties like this where you want to make sure that it's incredibly focused on your ideal customer profile, onto the person that is the decision maker or the person that you want to buy. And as you can see from the last three headlines, this isn't done very well. Okay, so to give you guys a bit of a helping hand and to give you some inspiration, if you're a little bit lost as to where to get started with crafting the headline on your website, I've created a GPT, which is available in the show notes below, which is called the B2B Headline Refiner. Now, what I will say is this isn't perfect, especially not in the first prompt. It might take 2 or 3 prompts before you get something that is a little bit more on the money. Now, bear in mind, you want to consider the ICP, you want to consider the pain points of that ICP, and you want to position yourself and your value proposition as the solution, right? So I've used Session Media in this instance. So the H1, high performance B2B marketing agency site, sessionmedia.com. So what's it said here? The high performance B2B marketing agency is descriptive, but could be more specific about the unique benefits of potential clients. I suggest adding clear value proposition and trust building. So revised H1, data-driven B2B marketing agency delivering measurable growth with proven results. Now, I went back and I said, give more specificity on the results and address the ICP specifically. And they've come back with growth-focused B2B marketing agency driving pipeline and revenue for tech and SaaS companies. So again, it's a little bit closer. And I like the use of the word pipeline in particular, because we know in B2B, a lot of the marketing KPIs are focused on pipeline. One step below this could talk about pipeline for the SDR, for example. And I think that would go more specific on the ICP, which is what we're trying to do. Growth focus is still probably a little bit ambiguous, but I think we've got something here where we're talking about B2B marketing that drives qualified leads for your SDR or your BDR, for example. And I think that's a little bit closer, and that would be much better than the high performance B2B marketing agency. So hopefully you found some value out of this. Remember the 3 sort of parts to it. Consider your ICP, consider the pain point of that ICP, and considering positioning your value proposition as the solution when thinking about this. If you enjoyed this video, if you got any value out of it, then please do subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Thank you.